Hey guys, we are here with our custom franchise mode for NHL 21, and we will be using the Czech Republic Lions, aka the Czeching Lions, and our AHL affiliate, the Prague Paladins. We're going to go over the settings that we have in place for this GM mode. Injuries are on. Injury return warnings are fully healed. Don't want to take any chances with injuries. Autosave off. Auto-rotate goalies on. Auto-scouting, we're going to be doing pro scouting only. I want to make sure that, at least for the first part of the year, that all the prospects in the first round get scouted. And if you leave that to the auto-scouting, that's not necessarily going to happen. So I want to make sure of that. Sim engine scoring, everything for the sim is on medium. Waivers are on. Fog of War is off. And morale is off as well. Gameplay sliders, injury occurrence is at 20. We can, of course, bump that up or down depending if we're getting too few or too many injuries. And I believe that is it for the settings review. Now we will go and see our coaching staff, as I've already gone ahead and fired the goalie coaches for the NHL and the AHL. They were not too impressive. We'll find new ones on July 1st. And the scouts, I only had to fire a few of them. We only had a few D scouts. So most of them are going to stay on board with us for this year. Of course, we're probably going to end up getting better scouts in about 1 or 2 years or so. But these guys will do for now. And our NHL head coach is Solomon Murley. Good teaching. He's a generalist. He's got balance basically everywhere. Forward line 1, overload, balance, balanced. Forward line 2, overload, carry, cycle, balanced. Forward line 3 is the same as forward line 1. Forward line 4, crash the net, dump, cycle, balanced. And then for defense, you have balance, shoot, balance, shoot. Almost as balance can get. And for the AHL head coach, I think we're going to fire Gaudette. Yeah, because I want to have a head coach in the AHL who is exactly the same as our head coach in the NHL, so that we know if a player in the AHL works on a line down in the AHL, then he'll definitely work on that same line in the NHL should we have to call him up. So the results of the draft lottery: Detroit gets the first overall pick, and then Ottawa, Anaheim, Ottawa again, and of course us, the Czech Republic, or the Czeching Lions, sitting at number 5. LA, New Jersey, Buffalo, Minnesota, Winnipeg, the Rangers, Nashville, Florida, Carolina, and Edmonton. So here we go, expansion draft time. We'll start out by just taking a look at all the goaltenders. I want to get the youngest and best potential goaltender possible. So Stolarz, 79, fringe starter. Don't think we'll be taking him. Ranta and Hill. So Ranta's definitely the best we've seen so far. But then again, you could get Aiden Hill, who is a medium starter potential, only 24 years of age. Maybe you could grow him. And it's not like he would be asking for too much money either. So, possibility. Boston, you have Halak, Vladar, and Booth. Buffalo, Hutton and Johansson. Riddick and Domingue in Calgary. I mean, Riddick wouldn't be bad. He's only 27. Carolina, you got Reimer and Mrazek. Chicago, you have Delia and Tompkins. Colorado, you have Werner and Miska. Columbus has not even bother pronouncing that, holy moly. Dallas has Hudobin unprotected. Detroit has Bernier, Picard, and Boyle. Edmonton has Smith and Forsberg. Florida has Montembeault, Dreger, and DeRosier. LA has Quick and Grisenek. Minnesota has Cam Talbot up. Montreal has Allen, Lindgren, and McNiven. Nashville has Saros, Ingram, and Kaski Suo. So obviously Saros looking like the best option so far. He's 25 years of age, 84 overall, only has a salary of 1.5, and I believe he would still be an RFA at this point, going into the re-sign stage. So that definitely looks like the pick. Mackenzie Blackwood, for whatever reason, is up as well. May have to think about taking him. 83 overall, medium starter potential, 23 years of age, not asking for too much salary. You got Skarek and Sturman from the Islanders, and from the Rangers, Kincaid, and wait, that's not, they got his picture wrong. That is definitely not Keith Kincaid. Ottawa, you have Anders Nielsen, Hogberg, and Philip Gustafsson. So maybe you take Gustafsson as like a goalie for the future. Maybe develop him in the AHL. Philadelphia, you have Alex Lyon. I mean, to be honest, the name is perfect, right? Because Czeching Lions. So honestly, we may have to take him as our 4th goalie just for that. Pittsburgh, you have Yeri and Lagasse. San Jose, you have Martin Jones up. St. Louis, Gillies and Husso. Tampa, McElhinney, Gibson, Christopher Gibson, and then Spencer Martin. Toronto, you have Aaron Dell and Jack Campbell. Thatcher Demko for the Vancouver Canucks, medium elite potential. Only an 81 overall and already 24 years of age though. But if he grows, he could, that's quite a bit of value there, even if it's only trade value, Definitely going to have to consider that. Washington, you got Henrik Lundqvist, Vanacek, and Fucali. And then Winnipeg, you have Brossoit and Comrie. So obviously the standout here is Thatcher Demko, at least as far as potential goes. But Saros and Blackwood were also pretty nice. Who does Vancouver have? Pearson, Beagle, any prospects? Not really. Okay, so I think it's safe to pick Demko from the Vancouver Canucks. I don't think there's anyone here who I really want. Pearson fits on all forward lines, but I don't know. I think we could do better than Pearson, so we'll pick Thatcher Demko here. Welcome to, well, I guess not officially. We have to finalize our picks, right? But I'm presuming that he is going to be on our roster. And so what about Nashville? Saros is clearly one of the best overall goaltenders available. But there is Ekholm. There's Jarnkrok as well. Oh, Ekholm. He fits on all defensive lines, all power play lines, and all penalty kill lines. That's something to consider. Definitely something to consider. I mean, he's already 30 years of age, but we could definitely use him for year number 1 and then flip him maybe at the draft. Definitely a solid option is Matthias Ekholm. Let's see, Jarnkrok, all penalty killing lines. I would much rather have Ekholm there. Now, would I rather have Saros or Ekholm? I mean, there are other goaltender options, as we saw with, Blackwood, and I mean, you could take Ranta as well if you want that veteran goaltender to be starting while Thatcher Demko gets his overall up there, because he's only an 81 overall at the moment. Who else is on Arizona? Goligoski, Stepan. Neither of those guys fit into our lines based on our coach's scheme. Demers, penalty killing lines, Pitlick. Okay, so Krause fits. He is a 79 overall, high top 9. I think I would rather take, what's his name? Ranta. Yeah, no one from Arizona really catches my attention here. So I think we will take Antti Ranta with this pick. And actually, I want to take a look at Philly again. Do they have anyone I'd be interested in? Voracek? Maybe? He doesn't fit on any lines, so probably not. Van Riemsdyk, no. Gustafsson, all defensive pairings for Eric Gustafsson. He doesn't fit on the penalty kill or power play, though. Lawton, none. All defensive pairings for Felipe Myers. Braun, Raffle. Braun here, defensive pairing 2. None. Defensive pairing 2. I'll come back to them, but I really want to pick up Lyon just for the name. Taking a look at Ottawa here, they don't really have any players who I'm interested in, at least not skaters. Connor Brown, none. Anisimov, forward line 3. For a player like Anisimov, I would want him to fit in on the penalty kill too. Mike Riley, power play lines, none. Forward line 3. Yeah, so I think what we're going to do with Ottawa here is take Philip Gustafsson off their hands, as he's that 75 overall, medium starter, 22 years of age. Maybe you could groom him in the AHL to become a starter. You never know, right? So I think we'll be taking Philip Gustafsson here. So that should do it for goaltenders, unless we want to take Lyon as well from Philly. But again, we'll get to that. Well, that'll probably be one of our last picks, just to make sure that we don't want someone like Voracek or who else was available, Van Riemsdyk. Now let's take a look at the defense. You got Manson on Anaheim. You got Gulli, Larson. Manson fits on defensive pairing 2. All defensive pairings and penalty kill lines for Gulli. That definitely would not be a bad one. 2-way defender. And he's 22 years of age. Medium top 4. I think Gulli's got to be it. Jacob Larson. Ooh, Jacob Larson as well. They're both good. They're both really good. Larson's 1 year older. And they're both on essentially the same contract. Gulli's a bit cheaper. I think I gotta go for Gulli here. Larson's a bit better with puck skills. Gulli's a bit better physically. Yeah, I think just because of the age, I want to take Brendan Gulli here. Boston, you have Krejci, you have DeBrusk, you have Smith, Ritchie, Miller, Grzelcyk. I think we're going to take a forward from Boston just because their top 4 players available are forwards. And then their best defenseman is Kevin Miller, who is an 80 overall defensive defenseman. And we don't even have an exact scouting report on him. So yeah, I think it's going to be one of these 4 here. Ritchie, Smith, DeBrusk, or Krejci. Forward line 2 and a penalty killing lines for Krejci. Penalty killing lines for DeBrusk. None for Smith. Forward line 3 for Richie. Richie might not be bad. He's got a body checking of 90. If you can re-sign Krejci, you could always use him for a year and then maybe flip him at the trade deadline or something. He does fit in on the penalty kill and forward line 2. That'd be pretty huge for our top 6 in year number 1. Yeah, for right now, we'll take Krejci. We need some cap cap hit anyway. Buffalo, you have Stahl, Miller, McCabe, Okposo, Reeder, Gergensons. So Stahl has no fit. Defensive pairing 2 for Miller. All defensive pairings and all penalty killing lines for McCabe. Forward line 3 for Okposo. Yeah, I think McCabe's got to be the pick. I'm pretty sure McCabe is the pick here. So Jake McCabe, get on there. Calgary, let's see what you have. You have Backlund, Tanev, Ryan, Shillington, Mangiapane. So let's see. Backlund, none. All defensive pairings potentially for Chris Tanev. None for Derek Ryan. None for Shillington. All forward lines for Mangiapane. He's only a 78 overall, medium top 9, 24 years of age. But if he really does fit in on all forward lines, then we might be able to get some good chemistry with him. And you never know. Maybe he can grow. Potentially not a bad pick there. But for right now, I think we'll skip Calgary. We'll come back to them. Carolina, you got Hamilton, Gardner, Dzingel, Pesce. I think this is a defenseman pick for sure. None for Hamilton. All penalty kill lines for Gardner. Top 6 forward lines for Dzingel. Defensive pairing 2 for Pesce. Fast forward line 2 and all penalty killing lines. None for Martinook. All forward lines for McGinn. All defensive pairings for Ryan. Yeah, I think it might have to be Pesce here, considering Hamilton doesn't have any fit. And Gardner only fits on the penalty kill. Dzingel only fits on the 5-on-5. I mean, then again, Pesce only fits on defensive pairing 2. And he still has potential, right? He could still grow. So yeah, we're taking Pesce here. Chicago, you have Shaw, DeHaan, Murphy, Janmark, Smith, Puri, Kampf. So let's just take a look at the Pro Scout assessment here. None. All penalty killing lines. Defensive pairing 2 and all power play lines for Connor Murphy. So defensive defenseman. So power play wouldn't really work out for him anyway. Janmark, forward line 2 and penalty killing lines. I think Janmark's my pick so far. Smith, forward line 3, forward line 2 and all penalty killing lines for Puri. Yeah, I think we're going to take Janmark here. Colorado, you have Saad. You have Devon Taves. So Taves fits in on all defensive pairings and all penalty killing lines. That would definitely be a good little pickup there. He's got potential too. At 26 years of age, very cheap contract. Donskoy, a forward line 3. All defensive pairings for Ian Cole. None for Calvert. None for Nichushkin. None for Bellemare. I think it's going to be Devon Taves here. Yeah, defensive awareness at 87. Offensive awareness at 87 as well. Puck skills aren't terrible. Yeah, it's got to be Taves. Columbus, you have Atkinson, Nyquist, Savard, Jenner, Grigorenko, Riley Nash. None for Atkinson. Forward line 2 and penalty killing lines for Gustav Nyquist. All defensive pairings and all power play lines for Savard. I don't know if I'd have Savard on the power play necessarily, but good to know he fits there. Boone Jenner, top 6. Grigorenko, forward line 2, and all penalty killing lines. That seems to be a common line scheme fit for most of these players. I think I might want to take Nyquist here. Not a terrible contract, honestly. It's definitely movable. Yeah, let's take Nyquist here. So from Dallas, Denis Gurianov is available. 23 years of age, 82 overall, low elite, 20 goals last year. Alexiak on defensive pairing 2. Dickinson fits on top 6 forward lines and all power play lines. I think Dickinson might be more of a penalty killer. Definitely still capable offensively, though. He's got that medium top 6 potential as well. So he's definitely more of a fit than Gurianov, but the question is, how much value could you get back for him now as opposed to Dickinson potentially growing? You know? That's what you have to compare. Como, none. Pizik, defensive pair 2. Okay, so I think it's between Dickinson and Gurianov here. Gurianov's clearly the better offensive player, but Dickinson has a better fit. I suppose you could always trade Dickinson as well if you have to, but it's just a matter of, do you want to trade Gurianov now or do you want to trade Dickinson later? Well, Gurianov's 1 year younger. I think for right now, we'll take Gurianov just because I'm not seeing too many snipers that are available. So even if he doesn't have the chemistry, we may be able to still make it work somewhere. So we'll take Gurianov, and even if we can't, again, trade bait. Although, depending on the rest of the players that we take, we may end up going back and selecting Dickinson because it was pretty close. I had a hard time deciding there. Now let's circle back to Calgary. You have Backlund and Tanev as the two main guys here. I might want to take Tanev just for that all defensive pairings. there. The contract's not immovable for sure, especially if you trade him in the first half of that contract. I mean, Mangiapane as well with the all forward lines. Yeah, you know what? Mangiapane. So Detroit now, Troy Stecher, all defensive pairings and all penalty kill lines. That's definitely attractive. Bobby Ryan, nothing. Defensive pair 2 for DeKaiser. Defensive pair 2 for Merrill. None for Filppula. Defensive pair 2 for Namath. I think it's got to be Stecher. It's a right-handed defenseman. We need a right defenseman. And he fits on all defensive pairings and all penalty kill lines. Yeah, Stecher for sure. Edmonton, you have Nuge, you have Barry, you have Larson, you have Bear, you have Neal, Jones. Quite a few options here at Edmonton. Forward line 3 for Nuge. Nope, that's not where I would play him. Tyson Barrie, defensive pair 2. Defensive pair 2 for Larson. None for Ethan Bear. Top 6 forward lines for Neal. All power play lines and all penalty kill lines. I don't think I would take on that contract, though. Caleb Jones, defensive pairing 2. Top 6 forward lines for Alex Chason. Tyler Ennis, forward line 4. Forward line 4 for Kara. There's not really an obvious pick here in Edmonton, although I guess Tyson Barrie would be the closest thing to an obvious pick, given that he fits in on defensive pairing 2. He's an 84 overall. He only has a 1-year contract, so we're going to have to re-sign him in the re-sign stage. But still, he's pretty solid offensively. So, yeah, Tyson Barrie. Florida, you got Strawman, Connolly, Achari, Vetrano, Gudas, Strawman. Fits in all defensive pairings and all power play lines. All forward lines for Connolly. None for Achari, all forward lines for Vetrano. I think I would take Vetrano over Connolly, just given he's younger. Gudas, he fits in on all defensive pairings, so quite a few fits here from Florida. Although I think I'd rather take Strawman than Gudas. So it's down to Vetrano and Strawman here. I think there's going to be more defensemen available that are good fits. So, yeah, Vetrano. LA, you got Iafallo, Waugh, Ferk, Wagner, Madio, Luff, McDermott, really not much here. Iafallo, okay, he fits in on the top 6 forward lines. All defensive pairings, all power play lines, and all penalty kill lines for Matt Waugh. He's only 25 years of age. I think I'll take a chance on Iafallo. We'll see what he is about. Minnesota, you have Brodin, who has that 7-year extension, so if you're looking for security on the back end, he fits in on all defensive pairings. If you're looking for security on the back end long term, Jonas Brodin is definitely an option. There's Marcus Johansson, all penalty killing lines. Need him to fit in on some 5-on-5 line there. Nick Bonino, all forward lines. Bukestad, forward line 3. All penalty killing lines for Hunt. None for Rask, none for Hartman. Yeah, I think the pick is pretty obvious here. Jonas Brodin. Even if it's just for the trade value, Brodin would be solid. He's got that $6 million extension for 7 years. I mean, that might be a bit much long term. We might have to trade him at some point during that extension. But for right now, I mean, he's a solid option. Montreal, you have Tatar, Edmondson, Sherratt, Armia, Anderson, Byron. So Tatar fits in on the top 6 forward lines and all penalty killing lines. Defensive pairing 2 for Edmondson, defensive pairing 2 for Sherratt, top 6 forward lines and all power play lines for Armia. Forward line 3 for Anderson, forward line 3 for Byron. What kind of forwards do we have right now? We have Mangiapane, Iafallo, Krejci, Janmark, and Vetrano. Nyquist, Guryanov. Yeah, I think Tatar's got to be the pick here. Nashville, of course, you have Ekholm. Yeah, it's got to be Ekholm. Ekholm's too good. Ekholm is too good. New Jersey, you have Murray. All penalty killing lines. Paul Murray, none. Zajac, none. Wood, none. Defensive pairing 2 for Carrick. Defensive pairing 2 for Tennyson. Street, so we're getting down to the AHL guys now. I mean, Blackwood would be good, but we already have 3 goalies. I think the best fit here would be Murray. Yeah, for right now, we'll get Murray for the trade value. But I wouldn't expect to hold on to Murray, honestly, because he doesn't really fit in to much of anywhere besides the penalty kill. Everly from the Islanders, he has no pro scout assessment fit. Anders Leap, top 6 forward lines and all penalty kill lines. That's good. Although, what about his contract? Oof. Yeah, $7 million for 6 years. That might be a bit rough. Pajot, only $5 million for 6 years. He could be a good playmaker. What about his pro scout assessment, forward line 2? I would want him to fit on the power play, but you know what? Forward line 2, I suppose, is good enough for right now. Forward line 3, all defensive pairings, all forward lines for Clutterbuck. Yeah, I think Pajot's got to be the guy here. I mean, we're a little low on cap space. We're after this pick at 17 mil, but you know what, that's fine. Can always, once again, trade away some guys. New York, you have Strome, Johnson, Lemieux, Smith, Potato. Strome fits on forward line 2, defensive pairing 2 for Johnson, forward line 3 for Lemieux, all defensive pairings for Smith. I think it's pretty obvious here who needs to be chosen, and that would be Ryan Strome, who fits in on forward line 2. Philly I'm going to come back to, because I kind of want to take Alex Lyon, although we do need forwards right now, and they did have Voracek, and they did have Van Riemsdyk as well. So Pittsburgh has Dumoulin, Tanev, Bluger, Sevier, not too much here. No fits either. Dumoulin fits on all defensive pairings. I don't think any of these other guys are really jumping out too much at me. Jankowski is a forward line 3 fit. Good face-offs. We also do need to save a bit of cap space here. I don't know how movable that contract is going to be for Dumoulin, you know. Let's just take a look at Aston Reese, forward line 3, Rodriguez. Yeah, it's either Jankowski or Aston Reese. I mean, they're effectively the same player. Yeah, they're essentially the same player, but Jankowski's better at face-offs, so yeah, we'll take Jankowski. San Jose, Burns is up, but that's quite the contract that I am not going to take on. Sorensen, yeah, fits on forward line 4. All power play lines for Donato, none for Nieto. All defensive lines for Simek. Gambrel fits on all power play lines. I think it's got to be Sorensen here for San Jose. Yeah, it's got to be Sorensen, because I don't think we have anyone that fits on our 4th line yet, so he could be good. Potentially good for that. St. Louis, yeah, Perron, who fits on our top 6 forward lines. Forward line 4 for Schwartz. That's not where he would be. Definitely not where he would be on our team. Parayko, all defensive pairings. Parayko. That could be good. That could be real good. Steen, no fit. Bozak, all power play lines, all defensive lines for Scandella. Forward line 3 for Sundqvist. Yeah, pretty clear who we need to take here. Parayko, welcome to the team. So we're already at 10 defensemen, so I prefer to take forwards with the rest of these picks, of course. Palat, Coleman, Maroon. Palat fits in on all forward lines. All defensive pairings for Coburn. All forward lines for Coleman. Forward line 2 for Maroon. Goudreau, top 6. It's either Coleman or Palat. Palat's on a multi-year contract, but it's much more salary that would be taking on. Let's take a look at all the other teams here. So Brody's available. Does he have a fit defensive pairing 2? I don't think it'd be worth giving up our current selections on defense just to get Brody. He's got quite the salary as well for quite some time. Zach Hyman, no fit. Travis Dermott, top 4 defensive pairings and all penalty killing lines. That's pretty good. A forward line 3 for Wayne Simmons. I would want Simmons out of these guys. I would also, Dermott's definitely a good option as well. Might have to come back to these guys. Vancouver, we already took Demko. Washington, you have Jacob Vrana. Forward line 2 and all penalty kill lines. All defensive pairs for Dillon. All defensive pairs for Kempney. All defensive pairs, all power play lines, and all penalty kill lines for Jensen. Vrana's a solid pick. And forward line 2, you know that's where he's fitting in. Yeah, Jacob Vrana. So we're starting to get up there in salary. So for Winnipeg, I think we'll just take someone who's cheap and who has potential. So Andrew Kopp could be a good option. Mason Appleton. He doesn't have a line fit, but he'd still be good to get just for the potential and the trade value, you know? So who's left? We have Toronto, Tampa, and Philly. So for Toronto, I think I want to take Dermott because he's got a 1-year deal. Even though it's a 1-year deal, he's still pretty cheap. I don't know how much he's going to want in the re-sign stage, but we'll get him anyway. And for Tampa, I think we're going to get Coleman because, Palat's going to cost a little too much. So Coleman. And for Philly, I think we can afford to take that goaltender, Alex Lyon. Welcome to the Lions, Alex Lyon. So Gulli, Ranta, Krejci, McCabe, Mangiapane, Pesci, Janmark, Taves, Nyquist, Gurianov, Stetcher, Barry, Vetrano, Iafallo, Brodin, Tatar, Ekholm, Murray, Pajot, Strome, Gustafson, Lyon, Jankowski, Sorensen, Parayko, Coleman, Dermott, Demko, Rana, and Appleton. Welcome to, officially, the Czeching Lions. So now going into the NHL entry draft, we don't really have much to work with here since we don't really have too many players scouted, if any players, but that should be interesting nonetheless. So there was a medium franchise available, Tulipov, who goes to the Detroit Red Wings, Andrei Tulipov. That accelerates the rebuild quite a bit, I would imagine. Ulf Erzberg goes to the Ottawa Senators. Greg Conklin goes to the Anaheim Ducks. So it doesn't look like there's any NHL-ready players in this draft, but quite a few medium elites there. And Landry goes to the Senators, and we have pick number 5. So, yeah, I mean, we're really... it's just a shot in the dark, pretty much. No stats to go off of, no potentials whatsoever. So I think we're just going to take... It's going to be either Peros or Budins. So do you want the right wing? Do you want the right defenseman? I think... Is there any Czech players here? Czech-born players? Sikart. Or Chikart. However you pronounce that one. Jan Chikart. I might want to consider trading for the 20th overall picks just so we could take Chikart. Because getting a Czech-born player in the first round in year number... Well, I guess it's year number 0, right? Because year number 1 hasn't happened yet. So that would be pretty big. That would be big for us. But no doubt we got to take one of these guys with our first pick. And once again, nothing to go off of here. Absolutely nothing to go off of. Not even... There's no career stats, no potentials, not even any gems or busts, I don't think. As we try to sort by that, yeah. Not really much to go off of. So we're just going to... I think we'll take a defenseman. We will take the American defenseman Melvin Paros. Welcome to the Czeching Lions, as he is a medium elite two-way defenseman, 70 overall. That's what you'd like to see. His offensive awareness is at 83 already. Puck skills are pretty good. Deking not great, but you know that's fine. He doesn't need deking as a two-way defenseman. Defensive awareness is at 85, while his shot blocking and stick checking at 65. So he's a bit of a weird build there, as his defensive category is going to take a while just because of the shot blocking and stick checking, but defensive awareness is already up there. So that's definitely, that's odd. That is certainly odd. Body checking at 84. So I don't know, he's going to be a weird one. It's going to be interesting to see how it develops, because that's certainly an unusual defensive category. I don't believe I've ever seen that much of a difference between defensive awareness and shot blocking and stick checking for a prospect like this. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. So let's see. Are there any teams that want to trade over here in this range? Calgary wants to trade their pick. Toronto wants to trade their pick. So we're going to sim pick by pick here, because I really want to try to get that Czech-born player. I don't know how good he is potential-wise, but regardless, we need to get him because we are in the Czech Republic, and I feel like getting a Czech-born player in the first round of our first draft, that can only mean good luck, right? That is something that definitely needs to happen. So let's see, what pieces do we have available for trade? So Paros's value is way up there. That's good. Ekholm, Parayko, Rana. So who has a multi-year deal here? Pajot. Oh, right. Appleton you could trade as well, because he didn't fit into anywhere. He still has potential as well. So let's just get a general overview here of our roster. You have Krejci, Tatar, Rana, Nyquist, Strome, Pajot, Guryanov, Coleman, Iafallo, Vetrano, Sorensen, Janmark, Jankowski, Appleton, and it's kicking us out of the screen there. Defensemen, who are we going to be using? You have Ekholm, Parayko, definitely using those two. Barry, I think we'll be using. Murray, I don't know, but his value is like way down there anyway, since he only has 1 year. Pesci, yeah, we'll be using Pesci. We'll be using Brodin. Dermott, we might be able to trade, but he only has 1 year left anyway. Gouli, I think I want to use. I don't know. We could probably trade Guryanov since he didn't have much of a fit in our roster. So let's see. Does Toronto want Guryanov? Because they do want to trade Pittsburgh's first. Yes, they do. So we might be able to make this. Well, actually, it's quite a bit of a difference there. We're probably going to need to add another piece like a Devin Taves in order to make that work. Give them Guryanov and Taves. That might work. I'm going to hold off for right now, though, just to make sure that he's actually still available by then. He should be. He was ranked 20th. Sanchez goes to the Devils. Hacken goes to the Sabres. And that Budins guy went to the LA Kings. So we made the right pick. We definitely made the right pick there, as he was a medium top 6, 66 overall. Glad we took the defenseman. And the Oilers will take Leonov. So I believe, yeah, that Czech-born player is still there. So I wouldn't mind unloading Devin Taves here, considering we already have, we have Dermott, we have Brodin, Pesci, Murray, Barry, Parayko, Ekholm, and I also want to use Stetcher and McCabe. So I think, yeah, Devin Taves is definitely the odd man out there on defense. And as far as forwards go, we can unload Guryanov since he didn't have that chemistry. So Taves and Guryanov for a first. Will that work? Proposed trade rejected, too far off. All right, we're gonna have to get something else in there. And we're definitely not giving up our prospect defenseman who we just selected in Paros. So what about goaltenders? There's Demko, who has quite a bit of value, but I'm not going to give up on him just yet. Want to see how he simulates, obviously. And he's going to be our backup goaltender for this year. Then you got Lyon and Gustafson in the minors. Draft picks, I mean, we could give up our second or third. I'll try adding the third. And since we don't really know the depth of this draft anyway, since we don't have anybody scouted, it might be worth it just to get that first round pick so we could get that Czech-born player. So Taves, Guryanov, and a third for Pittsburgh's first. Trade accepted. Very nice. Okay, so we are on the clock now, and we are going to be taking, without a doubt, Jan Schickart. Now, the scout is recommending Zharkov, but once again, we have absolutely no scouting reports on these guys, so we're just taking the Czech-born Jan Schickart. Welcome to your hometown or home country, Czeching Lions. He is a medium top 6 power forward at 61 overall. All right, not bad. Not bad. He should be, I mean, maybe he'll take 3 or 4 years, but honestly, that's a good pick. I like that pick. So we will simulate up to pick number 35 now. Yeah, I mean, it's really just a shot in the dark here, I suppose, because we don't really know much about any of these guys. The scout is suggesting Gretz. There's Chibrikov, Novoseltsev. I kind of want to take one of those generated players because they can sometimes be good in the late rounds. And I know this is the second round, but still. Yeah, let's take Novoseltsev. I have a good feeling about him. He is, all right, low top 6. Not terrible. 64 overall as a two-way forward. I will take it. Pick number 99 now. There's Barkland. There is Lannon, Bobby Lannon as a goaltender in the U.S. Am I seeing that right? Ivan. Wow. That is quite the name. The same name twice. We might need to take him just for that. Hoffman, Langebrunner, Swankler. Yeah, I'm just looking for any Czech-born players here. But I think just for the name, we got to take Ivan. That's amazing. Meg pick, welcome to the... Oh, jeez. That's just great. All right, so we whiffed on one, but I had to see just for that name. So now I think we'll just take the highest ranked players that are generated. So like this guy, William Gov, welcome to the Czech Republic. You are a low bottom 6. That's a bit rough. Round number 6 now. There's Mikkelchuk. He is a real player. Looking for generated players at this point. Felipe Black, we do need a goaltender prospect. Well, I mean, we do have Demko, but I don't know how much of a prospect he's considered at this point, given that I think he's 24. So, yeah, let's take a chance on Felipe Black. Welcome to the Czech Republic. He is a medium fringe starter, 49 overall. Ooh. And on to round number 7 now. We'll just take the highest ranked player here. Jacob Mayerov, left defenseman. Yeah, he looks good. Make pick. And he is medium 7th defenseman. That's unfortunate. Again, not much we could have done there in that draft. Just basically shots in the dark for the most part. But welcome to the Czeching Lions, Paros, Schickart, Novoseltsev, Ivan, Gov, Black, and Mayerov. So all that being done, we now have to see who is going to re-sign with our team, and then we'll move on to July 1st, and then we'll end things off. So as we check UFAs, you have Krejci, who did not want to re-sign, Tatar wants to re-sign, Barry does not, Strom does not, neither does McCabe or Coleman, Murray wants to re-sign, Iafallo wants to re-sign, Jan Mark does not, so most of these guys don't, unfortunately. And as far as RFAs go, you have Vrana, who does not want to re-sign, but we do retain his rights, so we'll be able to get him back pretty easily. Dermott, Jankowski, and Manjapane, they all want to re-sign. And as for goaltenders, Demko and Gustafson both want to re-sign, and UFAs, Ranta and Lyon both want to re-sign. Good. So we'll start out with our goaltenders. Demko, what do you want? You want 2 years, 2.6? Yeah, I mean, that's about right. I'll give you 2 years for 2.3 instead. Gustafson, there you go. Definitely want to get Lyon on board, as he's got the name of the team as his last name, which is fantastic. I mean, I don't think we could have asked for a better start to the GM mode. And you have Ranta, who wants 3 years, 4.3. I'll give you 2 years as well for 4.25. Defenseman, you have Barry, Murray, and McCabe. And Dermott, I will re-sign Dermott. 6 years, 3.8. Wow. What would McCabe want here? 2 years, 2.8. Murray, 3 years, 4.5. Well, we don't exactly know what we're doing with Murray, given his low scheme fit, or at least from what we saw in the expansion draft. So I'll give him 2 years at 4.4. Iafallo wants 3 years, 2.3. I'll give you 2 years. Generally, I want to give most of these guys 2 years, unless we know that they're staying for a long time. Tatar, he wants 5 years, 5.7. Once again, 2 years, and I'll give you 5.55. Jankowski wants 2 years. That's good. I'll take it down to 1.35. And Mangiapane wants 1 year at 850,000. That works for him. Mangiapane is back. Iafallo's back. Tatar's back. Murray's back. Ranta's back. Jankowski's back. Demko, Gustafsson, Lyon, and everybody who we approached there has re-signed. Still have 21 million in cap to work with. I do want to re-sign Dermott, but that's a long term there. 6 years. I'll give you 2 years, and I'll give you 3.5. Vrana, I do want to sign. Give you 2 years at... We're going to have to overpay him anyway, since he doesn't want an extension. We'll start with 5 mil. We'll release Sorensen and Janmark. How much would Krejci want? 1 year, 5.7. He doesn't want an extension, so we're going to have to, once again, overpay. We'll start with 6.1 for 1 year. Barry would want 5.8 for 5 years. Let's see, first of all, let's see who signs from this group of players who we have approached, and then we will make a decision on Barry and Strome and those guys. Krejci has resigned. Dermott has resigned. Vrana has resigned. All right, so we are now left with 8.7. We're not going to be able to afford all 4 of these guys. So what do we have currently? Defensemen, we have Ekholm, Parayko, Murray, Brodin, Pesci, Dermott, Stetcher. I don't think we really need Barry. I mean, it'd be nice to have him because of the offense that he provides, but we have a lot of depth at defense, so if we can't get him, then so be it. We're not going to need McCabe either, I don't think, so we'll release him. I would, however, like to get Strome and Coleman back, as we don't really have too many forwards, at least not compared to the amount of defensemen we have. Coleman, he wants 3 years. I'll give you 2 years at, start with 2.6. Strome, once again, 2 years, and we'll give you 5.3. Strome has re-signed. Coleman has re-signed. So now all that is left is Tyson Barrie, and we do not have enough cap space for him. So we are going to have to release him to free agency right away. Believe that is it. Yes, that is it for players that we have to sign. We could sign Paros to see where he fits in the chemistry, because I think I want him, even if he's not going to play in the NHL, which probably won't happen this year, I still want to find out what his chemistry is in the AHL, so yeah, we'll sign Paros. We'll definitely sign Paros. I don't know about the rest of these guys, though. Novoselic, we may as well, given that our AHL team doesn't have too many players. Yeah, Novoselic should be able to play. Same thing with Chikart. Well, actually, Chikart is probably going back to, Chikart would go back to juniors. We can sign Gov, and we can sign Marov as well. The other two are going back to the CHL. And then we also have Philippe Black, although he's 49 overall. That's rough. We're going to leave him unsigned for right now. There you go. Marov, Gov, and Paros, and Novoselic have all signed. So that is about it for the re-sign stage. We will advance to July 1st to see who's available in free agency, but we're not doing anything more than that. So now with that being said, let us see who is available in free agency. Oh my goodness. Ovi is available in free agency. He doesn't fit on any line, so I don't think we're going after him. But nonetheless, he is available. There's Gabriel Landeskog, who fits on the top 6. Hoffman, none. Getzlaf, 4, line 3. Schwartz, 4, line 4. Tyson Barrie fits on, as we know, on defensive pairing 2. But once again, we don't really have a whole lot of salary cap to work with anyway. We have like 2.4, I think I saw. So we're kind of limited. But once again, that's about it for now. We're going to leave it off here. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next one when we continue our franchise mode with your Czeching Lions. See you guys then.